Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Mornings. I am your host, Patricia Romero-Wolfson, and I am here to motivate and inspire you to create a daily routine that helps you, number one, calibrate and elevate energy. Oops, there goes my mic. Hold on. It's working. Yes. Number two, connect with your inner guidance. And number three, navigate challenges with ease and grace. And that is what today's topic is all about. We're going to talk about how to shift the energy around you for the better. I'm going to give you 7 simple steps that I use and that we actually do most of them here on Me First Mornings every morning together. So I'm going to go over those steps with you and just really clarify what steps you can do when you have a moment where everything just hits the fan and you don't know what to do and you're absolutely paralyzed. So we're going to talk about that today. So thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Me First Mornings. Go to YouTube right now and just ding that subscription bell or smash that like button or whatever you kids are doing these days. Oh my goodness, whenever I talk about subscribing, I literally feel like an old lady, and not just because it was my birthday last week, although maybe a little. All right, so everything I talk about this show is a practice, okay? We have established ways of thinking and doing things for years, right? It takes time to learn how to react differently and shift your energy around things that create stress and overwhelm by bringing up old wounds, old stories, old limiting beliefs, habits and routines that we've developed over years and years and years, not even realizing that they were either damaging or just not good for us in one way or another. Or maybe they worked for us at the time and it is now time to release those old habits, release those old ways of thinking, okay? So creating consistency and building a physical, energetic memory on how to address the things that stress and overwhelm you is the foundation for long-term healing. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is when we create a practice, we are teaching ourselves what to do in that moment, right? And so it's like what we do here on Me First Mornings by, we take some deep breaths, we do some sort of shaking things out, we do some stretching, we set intentions. All of those things is a practice that we do so that it becomes second nature. It becomes second nature up here. It becomes second nature, like you just say it automatically, you do it automatically, and your body also responds automatically. So if you create a practice each day where you can feel calm or you can center yourself or ground yourself, then what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to have a go-to practice when things fall apart. Because when things fall apart, that's what you need. You need a go-to practice. That's why prayer works. That's why, religious institutions are successful, because people see that it works. It works to have faith. It works to put your trust in something bigger than yourself, because sometimes when you feel out of control, you have to put your trust and surrender into something bigger, right? And so this is a spiritual practice, yes, but it is also a physiological practice. It is something that we are doing so that our body and our brain and, the mind, body, spirit connection can all connect and convene to have the same strategy, right? So when things fall apart, we want to have the same strategy. All right, who's here? Say hi, everyone. Say hi. Hi, good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Lina. Good morning, Dad. Bon dia, Clara. Bon dia. Welcome to anybody who's watching. I'm so glad that you're here today. So we're going to do our steps. Now, here's the thing, the 7 steps to calibrate your energy, we're actually going to go and attack them right away because they include what we do, as I said, on Me First Mornings, right? And what this really is I want to introduce you to that quick reference guide that I've been talking about. Good morning, Mom. That quick reference guide that I've been talking about that you can download for free. It is, 5 little pages that's going to help you get on track. It's going to give you the foundation foundation of the things that we talk about here on Me First Mornings, and it'll be like a little quick reference guide. Oh man, how do I calibrate my energy again? Boom, take a look at the guide. And I'm even going to show you. So this is the first one. This is what we're covering today. How do I calibrate my energy? The quick reference guide. Now, as you can see here, look, right? This is what we have. Number one, breathe, okay? Number one, breathe. Now, I know, listen, I'm someone who I consistently forget to breathe. Like before I know it, I'm like holding my breath and I'm like, why am I out of breath? I'm out of breath because I've been holding my breath, because I've been forgetting to breathe. And so that's the first thing you need to do. If you walk into a situation and you hear something, see something you're not prepared for, something shakes you to the core, you get some news that you weren't expecting, you see something you weren't expecting that's upsetting, disappointing, heartbreaking, all of the things. You're scrolling through Facebook, you find out, a family member passed away and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Here is one of the things that you can do every single time, and that is breathe. Just breathe. You got to breathe, because what that does is when you're breathing, it signals to your body that you are, number one, alive, okay? And number two, if you control your breathing, it gives you something to focus on, number two. And number three, you're literally breathing life into your body, okay? You are breathing life, because breathing is giving life, right? It is giving that oxygen. It is giving that continuity, that energy, and love. If you can, send yourself some messages of love while you're breathing, but sometimes you don't have that ability when things are kind of falling apart around you. So simply breathe. So let's do that. Let's practice. I'm actually going to light the candle because we're starting our session. If you're in the midst of a crisis, you don't need to go and start your session with lighting a candle. Just breathe. Breathing is the number one tool. I know it sounds silly. Why isn't this working? Come on. Yeah. So breathing is the number one tool. It's the number one tool. Ask anybody. Ask any healing modality. Go, yoga, non-yoga, therapy, traditional therapy, non-traditional therapy. Okay, go to a doctor's office. You get terrible news. They're going to tell you to breathe, okay? Breathe. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. And this is the kind of breath that I want you to take if you hear some disconcerting news. Now, I'll give you a secret that I heard, and actually, you guys know I've referred to her before, Sandra Suarez Dominguez is someone I've had on the show before. She's someone I've worked with many times, and she said something to me that stayed with me, and it was beautiful, and it was this: you breathe in however many times you breathe in, but when you breathe out, you double your breath, right? So you do 5 breaths in, and then you hold and you let your breath out on a count of 10. And what happens when you do things this way, and I've taken workshops on this, and I've seen that it works for me too, is that it literally has your body like kick into I'm safe, I'm okay. Because when something's happening, you start breathing quickly, right? You start going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? Oh my God. And you start like doing these quick breaths. But if you're okay, and if you can hold that out breath, it signals to your body that you're not in trouble, that you're not in danger. So the number one thing you need to do is breathe in order to signal to your body that you are safe. Even if emotionally and spiritually you are falling apart, even if everything is crumbling around you, if you are physically safe in that moment, and even if you're not physically safe, breathing is still something that is a go-to. But let's just say in this case, when you're physically safe, and you're just dealing with something emotionally or mentally or spiritually that has you in a panic or is kicking your anxiety in, or you feel yourself suddenly veering off the path, or you feel, anxious, nervous, overwhelmed, you take a deep breath. And we're going to do this 3 times together. Now, normally on the show, I don't do the extended exhale. But if you are in a situation where you are panicking or you're feeling your anxiety, then I highly recommend doing this like 5 breaths in and the count of 10 out to calm your body down. So let's do that again, okay? Hold and release. Beautiful. It's really surprising how often I find myself holding my breath and also how much breathing really does help, Sarah. Yeah, no kidding. It's something I've really had to introduce because I feel it. Like this is something that I apply all the time. Okay, so we're going to do it again. So take a deep breath. We're going to hold for 5 seconds and then we're going to release slowly through pursed lips. That's also, you can just think of it that way, where you're just like exhaling with pursed lips, or as if you're like blowing into a balloon or exhaling into a balloon, where you're going like this. Okay, because it'll help you to release your breath slower. That's just little tricks, okay? So one more. Let's go. Deep breath in. Hold for 5 seconds. And release. Beautiful. And now let's do that one more time. Deep breath in. Make this count. Allow your body to fill with love and light and healing energy. As you hold that breath, feel yourself guided and protected, always divinely supported by your spiritual support team. And now release. And with that exhale, we release everything that doesn't serve us. And even if you're in a moment of panic, I want you to just like think to yourself, like just let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. And you may not be able to think anything, and that's okay. Simply breathing is enough. All right, now step 2. Okay, step 2, we have stretch, shake, or move. Okay, stretch, shake, or move. We do this on the show all the time. I like to stretch. Why? We need to stretch because we need to dislodge any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy. The breathing does help that, and we do that on the show every morning, but also the stretching, because you're going to stretch and you're going to feel tightness, you're going to feel discomfort, you're going to feel tension, and all these things, tightness, discomfort, tension, pain, right? And we said this before, I'm going to say it this again. Pain means pay attention inside now, okay? Pain, pay attention inside now. If you have pain, that is energy that is trapped, that is energy that is not helping you, that needs to be released. Any pain, discomfort, or tightness, we want to release it, and so we stretch to do that. And sometimes I'm having conversations with my husband, and we're having really serious conversations about what to do next in his, healthcare journey, and I will breathe and stretch as he's talking to me to release the feelings that I have about this conversation and about the discomfort that's coming up for me during these conversations, because they are uncomfortable. If you're having conversations with somebody, and listen, my husband knows me, so he doesn't flinch twice, because as we're talking, I'm going like this and I'm stretching and I'm like tapping and I'm okay, listen. Just tell the people around you that you are doing your best to stay, to stay with them, to stay connected, and just release the energy that doesn't serve you. I mean, I'm telling you what I do, do with it what you like, but it certainly does help me. All right. And so you want to move, you want to shake, you want to stretch, you want to release that stuck, stagnant energy. You want to release that anxiety that you may have. You want to just get breathing so that you can bring yourself back to center. Okay. Number 3, the third step we're going to talk about right now here is choose your GPS word, okay? We've talked about this on the show. How do you choose your GPS word? Well, let me tell you. One of the exercises that I actually have in that book, the quick reference guide that I told you, and the link is in the description, is I have 3 quick GPS activities, okay? So that's all you got to do. One of the three. You don't even have to do all three. You just do one of the three. And so I'll pick one, all right? And I've done this before already. Describe your favorite place or happy place if you have one, and write about how it makes you feel when you think about being there, right? So write it down. So let's say your happy place is you love going to the beach. I know lots of people are like, oh, the beach, the beach, the beach, okay? So describe it to me. Describe it to yourself. Write it down. I'm at the beach, and it's peaceful, and I hear the waves, and I feel free, and I feel abundant, and I feel at peace, and I feel, and you go and you write all the things that you're thinking of, and then go through and read it. And once you go through and read all the ways that you've described this happy place, I want you to highlight or underline the words, the feeling words that stand out. Maybe peace, maybe freedom, maybe abundance, right? And see which word comes up over and over again, right? That's number one. And number two, look at which word is a non-negotiable, okay? So let's just say that your happy place is the beach, right? But the beach you go to has a boardwalk. So you're like, I love it. It's my happy place because it's relaxing and fun and peaceful. And I can just go to the boardwalk and have an adventure. And I love how fun it is, right? So then you have to think to yourself, what's the most important part of this happy place? Is it that you can have fun there? Or is it that you feel peaceful there? The word that you gravitate towards, or the feeling that's the non-negotiable for you, that is your GPS word. It's as simple as that. You pick the word that you want the most, the thing that's like, I have to have peace, or I have to feel spacious, or I have to feel abundant. Otherwise, I can't breathe. Otherwise, it's just not my happy place, right? So you figure out what that feeling is, what that word is for you, and that is your GPS word. And you use that as your anchor all day. I call it the GPS word because you put it into your navigation system and you say, hey, I want to feel this. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel happy. I want to feel abundant. And you have to know what that means to you, right? And so every time you come to a crossroads or you come to, a light, and you get to think about, hey, which way should I go to keep this journey peaceful, right? What's the choice I need to make in order to bring more peace into my life? That is the guiding principle around the whole GPS and Me First system that I talk about, this method that I use. It's all about reminding yourself of what's the most important thing for you, the most important feeling, and then applying that feeling and embodying that feeling with everything that you do. All right, the next, so we've already done 3 steps. Here's step number 4, right? Step number 4, use your GPS word and set intentions to connect your goals. Now, this part we do on the show. I talk a little bit about the GPS, and what you do is you have to set the intention for the day. So the day may be like, I really want to have a very peaceful and productive day. So I want to get things done, but I also want to get things done in the most peaceful way possible. I don't want to fight. I don't want to struggle. So then when that happens, we set the intention, and then that's when I call in my spiritual support team, okay? Now, this is kind of number 4 and number 5 kind of go hand in hand. So here we are. So number 4 is you use your GPS word and set intentions to connect your goals. And number 5, you use your spiritual toolkit, okay? And in this case, it's prayer. And it has a rosary, crystals, essential oils, tapping, yoga, all of that, right? And so this is something that you do, right? So this is something that you do. You're calling it in. So you have this, terrible phone call. You've got this news that you have to deal with. Like, obviously, you guys know this is coming from personal experience, right? So when you get a phone call where, things where you're told that things kind of are not the way you had hoped, or you get, your life changes with a phone call, something happens, you may not be able to do these steps. And I'm telling you right now from my own personal experience, when, I got the call from my husband and he said he was diagnosed with cancer, I really didn't do any of these steps. These came later, and I didn't do any of those steps because my coping mechanism is to disconnect from like the reality of things and to just kick into what needs to get done mode, right? And many caregivers, many women out there, many caregivers, women, men, non-binary folk, right, who are caregivers have that ability to just shut off from what's really happening and disconnect from the emotional part and just get down to business and put your boots to the ground and like, let's go and let's do what needs to be done. But at some point, you're going to come face to face with the reality, with the emotions, with the real stuff happening. So these things, these 7 steps of calibrating your energy, this is to use at that point when you feel yourself falling apart, when you feel yourself, in anxiety, when you feel yourself overwhelmed, right? That's when you do this, when you're ready to kind of face the energy that you are dealing with, right? So doing your daily ABCs, right? The action you've been avoiding. It may be you've been avoiding your feelings. You may be avoiding calibrating your energy and you're just holding things in. So this is to help you when you're ready, right? So like I said, number 1, you did the breathing, the stretching, the shaking, the moving, choosing your GPS word, using your GPS word and setting your intentions to connect to your goals, and using your spiritual toolkit, which we do here every morning. I light my candles, I do my essential oils, we take our deep breaths together, and then we say our prayer. So I'm going to quickly do that now because I'm going to call in my spiritual support team. It's also your spiritual support team. We kind of, like you choose who your spiritual support team is, but, like they're all the same. It's all the same spiritual support that we're getting. But I like to call them specifically by, names that I've been told that works. You can add in whatever you want, subtract what doesn't resonate with you, say your own religious prayer or your own spiritual prayer that you've developed on your own or something that you've grown up saying. Whatever you feel connected to, this is what you do for yourself. You say something that feels safe, that feels encompassing, and that feels like you are inviting the support of the spiritual team that you have most trust in, whether that's Jesus or Mary or God or Muhammad or, whoever you believe in. You need to speak to that spiritual team and call them into your life and ask for support. This is how I ask for support. So please join me in asking for support in my own little way, or you can just sit quietly and ask in your own way for your support. All right, here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain's infinitely powerful violet flame burn away all the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us to raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Whew, okay, so that's it. Mom, you can disconnect. Yes, I know you can disconnect. Many survivors of trauma can disconnect, okay? That's, there's a lot of people that's how they get through life, is by disconnecting from those real emotions, from the energy that weighs them down. But it is disconnected, but it is not gone. You may be disconnected from it, but you still hold it. And it's really important that we witness that energy. And that's what this is all about. Me First Mornings is about witnessing our own energy, witnessing our own experience, and being there for us in the ways that we need to be there. All right, so here we go. So we did the steps, we can, I showed you a little bit of the tapping, which is, I won't get into that. That's a whole other session and a healing modality, which I think is really powerful and great. And I use it periodically for myself. But this is where you kind of like go to your stuff, right? So you have your GPS word, you use your spiritual toolkit, prayer, bring out the rosary, all those things. And then, of course, I have number 6 to calibrate your energy. Open the communication with spirit, okay? Open your communication with spirit. This is ask God for help, okay? We've opened up, we invited our spiritual support team to come and help us and say, please, please, please show me guidance, give me guidance, tell me what to do. I'm lost. I need you. Please help me. And so what do? It's what I do is I pull a card and I ask Spirit, please show me what I need to know. All right. So let's see. What do the cards? And so I can go more detailed if you guys are interested in learning how I kind of connect with the cards. That's something I can certainly do on the show, so please let me know you're interested. But, just grab a deck. You can use cards. I use cards, right? And I say it here in the guidebook, right? You open communication with spirit, but it can be prayer, it can be pulling a card, it can be a journal entry, it can be meditation. However you communicate with spirit, however you talk to God, however you pray and then listen. Like prayer is asking, but then there's a listening component. So for me, I like using the cards because because the cards to me, they speak to me, right? I get my answers from here and my ego needs the response, right? I'm getting better at picking up on signals and answers and really just listening intuitively to what the answer is. But certainly the communication with the oracle cards for me makes it a lot more fun. And connecting with spirit is all about having fun, right? It may be drawing. You may just be inspired to draw something, and that inspiration is going to give you your answer. However you communicate with spirit is how you should communicate with spirit. And so that is one of the ways to calibrate your energy is go to your go-to communication tool with spirit. Like I said, whether that be prayer or the cards or a pendulum or just sitting in contemplation or meditation or anything like that. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to pull the cards. But actually, before I pull this card, I'm just going to tell you what the last step is, okay? So, because we're reaching the end and I want to leave us with the energy of the day. So, the last thing that I recommend to shift your energy is to ask yourself, and you can do it in a journal if you like journaling, and if you don't, just ask yourself in your head. Honestly, that I do that so often. Journaling is helpful because it sort of opens up the lines of communication between you and spirit and even you and your higher self. But if you don't want to do that, just ask yourself this, okay? Ask yourself this. Here's the question. What can I do that is in my control to feel, right? That to feel whatever your GPS word is, to feel peace, to feel abundance, to feel connected, okay? Or how can I move closer to that feeling now? All right. And this is important in your shifting the energy because let's say you, like I said, in the example, you get a phone call, you get some terrible news, right? And you're dealing with it in the moment. Okay. You're not disconnecting from it as I had described in my own situation, but you're ready. You're dealing with it in the moment. You're in a panic. You're hyperventilating. Okay. What do? Immediately you breathe. Okay. You breathe, then you stretch, shake, or move. Okay. You connect to your GPS word, be like, oh my God. Okay. I feel peaceful. I am peaceful. However you want to do it, okay? It's your practice. This is you get to shift your energy in the way that feels good. These are my suggestions. These are ways that will help you. You can use all of them or one of them or none of them, okay? But this is what I recommend. It will shift your energy. Any one of these will shift it. All together will shift it even more, all right? So make sure that you are taking the steps that you need. If you want to get the quick reference guide, please go to bit.ly/calibrate me first. Okay, it's the description in this video. If you're on YouTube, it's in the description. If you're on Facebook, it's in the description. You can find it easily, and you can download this for free. This will give you just a quick little reference guide to remind you of the things that you can do when you need to shift, when the energy is overwhelming, or when you're feeling stressed, or when you're having an anxiety attack. You can have a million ways to get yourself back to your grounded and connected state. You have to create that practice for you. These 7 steps are strictly my suggestion. It works for me. It's something that I do all the time. Sometimes I do 1 or 2 of them. Sometimes I do all of them. It depends on what I'm feeling and how much energy I need to process through. I recommend you try a couple, and please let me know. Let me know if they work for you. Let me know if you've tried them. Let me know if you already do these things and you find that they work. Go ahead and let other people know. Give them evidence that it works for others and not just for me. All right, so we're supposed to be finishing up right now. I've gone over like every day practically, but here we go. What does the energy tell us today? Okay, the energy is telling us this. Okay, so it's number 46. Okay, and this is actually upside down. So what it tells me, it came upside down. So what it tells me is that we are resisting coming apart. We are resisting. And what is coming apart? Coming apart is when everything crumbles. It's when everything starts to slowly just dissolve and disintegrate in front of you, whether it's a relationship or whether it's a job or whether it's a limiting belief or an idea, right? We all resist coming apart, falling apart. Nobody wants to fall apart. Nobody wants to start again. Nobody wants to pick up the pieces, right? But we need to, because when we come apart, when we fall apart, we leave the parts that don't serve us anymore. That part of us that is not helping us for the future, the relationships that no longer serve us for our growth and for our well-being, the parts of humanity that need to change, the structures need to change and need to evolve. Those things need to fall apart in order for us to rebuild in a way that is in alignment with who we want to become, whether it is who we want to become as individuals or who we want to become as a society, who we want to become as parents, as mothers, as fathers, as lovers, as people, as humans. How do you want to step through the world? How do you want to move through the world? How do you want to achieve the things that you want, right? Because you may want to achieve happiness, you may want to achieve abundance, but how do you want to achieve it? You want to achieve it with love, you want to achieve it with connection, you want to achieve it through fun, then you need to work for it by embodying that with every step that you take, right? And sometimes what needs to happen is all the old structures, all the old beliefs, all of the old parts of our old lives that don't serve us, we need to let them go. We need to say goodbye. We need to disconnect from them because they aren't serving us. And it's so hard, right? It's so hard to say goodbye to those things and to those parts of us that have been with us, that have kept us company, that have saved us through so many times of despair. Those limiting beliefs that held us through some of the terrible things that have happened in our life. The people that we've leaned on that may be toxic, but they have been there for us in ways that we needed, or they taught us lessons that we needed. It is time to let go. It is time to disconnect. We no longer have the ability to contain things in our energetic circle that no longer serve us. And this is not about being self-serving. This is about being cultivating what grows, right? You go to a garden and you plant things in the garden. There are certain plants that just don't work together. Now, you don't force those plants to be together and be like, well, you guys just have to figure out how to make it work. No, you need to take those plants away from each other, and you need to put those plants in other places where they thrive with other plants and animals and parts of that environment that help each individual plant, being, cellular organism, those things thrive. That's how the ecosystem works. You don't force things to be together that don't fit together. Nothing in the ecosystem works that way, where you force things to be together. Eventually, they just rub each other out. It doesn't work, right? You have to go and be where you're thriving. And if the environment that you are in is not allowing you to thrive, or perhaps the environment that you're cultivating in your own mind, in your own space is not allowing you to thrive, then you need to make the changes in your life that are going to contribute to you thriving, that are going to contribute to you making the choices, whether they be hard or easy, the choices you need to make in order for you to thrive, because that is your job. That's what Me First Mornings is all about. It's about getting your energy right before you go out there and start spreading all your crap all over the place, right? If I'm in a crappy mood and I walk out the door, then anybody who sees me is going to feel my crappy mood, and maybe I might say something, or maybe I might do something that offends somebody else and that throws somebody off, and now I've made them have a bad day, and now they're going to go off and spread the crappiness, right? But that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is step out into the world and just do our best, be our best, whatever our best in that moment is. And hey, if it's grumpy town, then just put your hat on, put your hood on, go hide in a corner and just allow yourself to just be however you want to be. But when you are out there and when you're sprinkling your light and love around the world, that's what you want to spread. That's what you want to share with people, right? You want to give your light because that's what you're here for. You're here to share your light. Okay, so I hope that was helpful today. I hope that you download your copy of this guide, which is my Me First Calibrate Your Energy Quick Reference Guide. It is free. You don't even have to give me your email, at least right now, because I haven't put it together that way. So you can just download it and hopefully get the help that you need. And stay on the lookout. I am working on the companion guide, which will be a much more complete version of this, and we'll have a lot more for you to follow and your own journaling prompts for you. So I am working on that. So keep an eye out for that. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube at Me First Mornings and go ahead and ding that subscribe button and get the notifications so you know when I'm on, which is every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. here to start your day in a really fun way. I hope you have an awesome, awesome day. Keep shining your light because you're awesome. I love you all. Thank you. See you soon.